When Alibaba reported their earnings on November 18th, I went out and sold my shares, and I made a video on why I was selling my shares. Now that the 31 plus days to avoid a wash sell has passed, I've re-entered into the Alibaba position. Now, in short, the reason why I sold is I had significant losses in Alibaba. I went ahead and sold those shares and went ahead and took advantage of the tax benefits, about $7,000 of what it was worth to me then. Now, in addition to that, I sold my shares at about 148 and I rebought in yesterday at 118. So I saved myself probably another $10,000 in paper losses, but I avoided the real dollar amount because I sold my shares and I was out until I rebought in at 118. So the decision to move forward with cash loss harvesting was actually beneficial in this case. I saved about $10,000 in paper losses and also avoided taxes on about $6,000 to $7,000 for a total benefit of about $17,000. For me, totally worth it, and I was able to buy back into Alibaba, which I still have high conviction of, around 118, which I think is a solid price. Now, Alibaba might not be a good decision for everyone, as it is a very volatile stock at this time. There are delisting concerns and delisting fears that is, I think, primarily driving this name. There are another big driver here is going to be the fundamentals and financials actually were reported weaker on that November 18th earnings date, and that's the primary reason why I sold, because I thought that would drag on at least until the next earnings report, enabling me to do some cash loss harvesting and not have to miss the wave back up to the top whenever that may be. Now, in the future, we're going to be wanting to see a really strong earnings report. The Investor Day gave a lot of good and promising information. However, really what we're going to want to see are results and how they're going to get in projections for full year 2022. Now, for those who are considering selling Alibaba to take advantage of tax loss harvesting, you've got to really remember that you can never really time the market. I got lucky in my case and I was able to do it very well. At any point, there could be a catalyst that drives Alibaba closer to its intrinsic value, which I think is closer to the $300 range, which has significant upside. There is also downside for Alibaba, as we've seen. Anybody who's held it over the last year and a half, it's basically been a straight shot down. Lots of big roller coaster, but the only way has gone down. At some point, if Alibaba continues to deliver on its fundamentals and the financials, people and investors are going to have to pick it up, and we're going to have delisting fears and relationships with China. People either forget about it or be on the back burner for a little bit. That is going to always be a risk with these VIE structures and Alibaba shares across the, Chinese stocks across the board. I don't see that going away completely. It's just going to have to go to the back of people's minds and not be the forefront of all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt around Chinese stocks right now. While I think some of it is valid, if we're talking about DD Global, which is going to be delisted, it's definitely a different situation. China has gone out there and said that they're not going to ban VIEs or current VIEs to delist off of the U.S. market. That's what they said. I've seen Chinese companies the Chinese government, publicly say one thing and then a couple months later do something exactly the opposite. But right now we have to go off of what they're telling us, and I still do think it's a risk, right? It's not like it's going to go away. It's just going to have to stop people from, being fearful. The big swings in Alibaba, 6%, 8%, 9%. I mean, in a day going up or down is just unsustainable. Like, that is extremely high volatility. They could lose 6% or sometimes up to 10% of their value in a day, or gain 10% of their value if you've been watching the name on a day-to-day basis. It's just wild. So it is a high volatility stock. Make sure you have high conviction in the name, or if you're day trading, you have to really pay attention, or you could lose your shirt. So thanks so much for watching today's video. My name is Frank Finance, out.